Hello everybody, hope you're having a good day. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do grid transfer. I mentioned this on my college coursework video where I did the 8 panels of skulls across it down to a human face, and I just thought I'd show how to do this. What we have here is a photograph I've taken of my own hand. My printer really jacked this photo up. Put a link in the description so you can go look at the original so it'll help you out. But what I'm going to do is you can take any image you want, a photograph or a drawing you've done yourself, and transfer it identically to another piece of paper. You can make that image smaller or you can make it larger depending on the ratio of the frames you use. So right now I've already drawn a grid on this. As you can kind of see, the image is dark, but I used like a blue ink pen. I can see the shimmer of the ink, but the camera, you can kind of see it. But what I've done here is I've gone a little bit over the image itself, and the reason I've done that is because it was just shy of 7 inches, and to help me out, one of the things you should do is kind of round to the nearest number, and that'll help you out tremendously. Because if I don't have full 1-inch blocks like this, it was going to come to like 6 something. To get even blocks, I'm going to have to do a lot of math. I personally, I'm not good at math. If you came to this channel to learn about math, you can just bugger off right now. I can tell you that, because you ain't learning anything. So I've gone ahead and I've gone 7 inches in both directions. Luckily it's a giant square. And I've put 1 through 7 at the top here, and then A through G on the side. On all 4 sides here, so it's easier to, if I'm at the bottom, I'm not having to trace down to figure out what square I'm working on. So I've done the giant grid on this page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer it directly to another page that I'm going to be drawing on. Now this is 7 inches by 7 inches. If I want it to go, if I want to do this image but make it smaller, I would, you can do any ratio, but normally I would just go ahead and half it. So it just makes it easier on the math side. So instead of 1-inch squares, you would transfer it over to 1/2 inch. And then if you're going to make it larger, you could double it and go 2 inches on this page. But today I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to make it the same exact size, just because it's already such a large image. I don't want to get a larger piece of paper. And you can also use this method to move the image around the page. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this grid, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to take a moment here to stop. What I've done is I went and I marked along all 4 edges of this paper. Even though it's not 7 inches, what this is going to do is, if you've ever tried using a ruler, once you get your first line down, say it's like 7 inches, you're going to put that line down. Well, it's probably going to be a little lopsided, and then your whole square is going to be a little crooked. But if you mark it on the edges of the paper and then just draw across, it's gonna be a lot easier to get a square. Okay, so I finished drawing the grid. If you notice, I had to relocate my notches at the top here. The top was offset from the bottom, and I realized my ruler didn't look a little straight, so you should always double check your measurements just to make sure, otherwise your grid may end up askew. So this image here itself is really kind of dark, and it may be a little I don't know, hard to kind of figure out where to start, and intimidating to transfer something like this. So what I like to do when it's a really dark image is I'll take an ink pen, black one normally, and I'll outline all the major lines I could see, and that's going to help me really transfer this. Okay, so now I have all these major lines outlined. It's going to make this a lot less intimidating and easier to transfer. All we're going to do with this transfer is get the basic outline. So if I was going to paint this or do a drawing with graphite pencil, like using tone, I'll have to worry about that after it's on here. Now, on this page, instead of using, I've used a red Cool Erase colored pencil so you can see the grid. What you're going to want to do is use as light pencil as you can for the grid, because you're going to have to go in and erase the grid after you're finished with it. And like I said earlier, the grid work is generally, I'm sorry my dresser's so squeaky, I'll be getting a desk soon. It's generally used more for enlarging or making an image smaller. If you're going to just transfer an image, it's a lot easier to use a light box. If you don't have a light box, I've made a video about how to build one out of like a dresser drawer, a real cheap one. If you don't have one of those, you've got windows. You can put it up on the window and trace it that way. So the way the grid line works is we're going to match up boxes. So we have box A1, A2 don't have anything in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put an X in these boxes. 6 and 7 and so on. And I'm just going to go through here and X out all the boxes that have nothing in them. It's just those few boxes. These are the boxes I don't have to even worry about. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to B1 here. Zoom this in real quick. And you have the line of the thumb starts about, I don't know, let's say about a third. There's halfway mark. So just under halfway, so it's about a third. And then we'll come over here and we want to try and get about the same spot. That's where the line starts, and it's going to curve up and then drop down to about, I don't know, maybe about a third, maybe a fourth there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go over here, find B1, and we're going to just duplicate that line. And we're just going to focus on this one box. And we're going to put everything that's in this box on this image and B1 on this image. So then the rest of this is black. So you don't worry about that. You just worry about this one line. And then we're going to move over to this box B2. And it's just got this little corner here. And we're going to go ahead and duplicate it on this side here. And with the way the grid system works is you don't want to just take and follow through and just draw a line like this. You want to work independently in each box. And with the way this works is I don't have to do box B1, B2. I can go box B1, move over to A4, and then go down to G5. And by the time it's all finished, it should still look exactly like the image we have on this page, if you've done it right. If not, I've seen people that's tried to learn how to use this that just take and draw the line across all the boxes and just try and sketch it anyway. Now C on this one, C1 is where the image ends. It's just a block, so it kind of comes down. You can continue off the image, or you can just stop there and say that's the edge of my image. It's up to you. It's however you want to do it. And then when you're done outlining all this, you can go back in and you can say, well, this section here has a white spot right there. The rest of this is dark. And just give yourself indicative areas where the shine is, so when you go back in and you draw or you shade it in, you have all those little gestures. So that's how to do grid work. Hopefully you learned something here. If not, I'm sorry, but thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon.